Hi everyone, welcome to Style3D channel. In this video you will learn some of the functions about Property Editor. We've been through so many classes and have actually learned that we have different materials and different tools. There are also different properties that need to be edited. For example, if we select the model, no matter what part of the model, here we can edit the properties for the model, like we can select the appearance of the model we want. And then here, we can edit the basic information of the model, including the emotion of the model here, etc. Here we can also control whether we need our models to attend simulation and information about her surface. Then here you can go to edit the model's accessory to see what kind of hairstyle or shoes her needs. And its skins can be selected directly here. The selection here is actually similar to what we have in Resource Library. And then down below, we can edit the model's material, including her skin, her hair, her shoes. Here we also distinguish different parts of her, including the body, face, eyelashes, etc. And then there's the ability to change its render type and her gloss map, all according to one of our PBR processes. Then you can see here that our model cannot be moved to change its position by default. If we want to move the model in any position, we need to turn off the freeze here and then click on the model, and it will show us the coordinates. We can then rotate the model or move it in any position. The second key property to edit is our fabric. First, we can change the simulation information for the pattern here. The most critical thing is the particle distance. Particle spacing determines the level of detail of our simulation, so you want to simulate a better performance. The particle spacing needs to be adjusted slightly lower, but the lower particle spacing also means our project to become larger and reduce our simulation speed, so generally our particle distance is not suitable for adjusting too small. In addition to some special circumstances, try to adjust to a value of 5 to 8 will be better. There is also a setting for layer in the simulation properties, which is also mentioned in the previous section on setting layer. The high layer will also be positioned on the outermost side of the 3D viewport. Here are two options for an extra render thickness and extra collision thickness. The render thickness refers to the actual thickness of the pattern. So if we adjust the thickness of the rendering higher, the thicker we see the pattern in 3D. But this is the extra thickness added to it. We will find that it does not affect the effect of one of our simulations. What affects the effect of the simulation is the extra collision thickness. For example, we set the value to 8. We will find that the whole garment will be separated from our model skin. However, in general, we do not recommend that you change the thickness of a garment by either extra render thickness or extra collision thickness. Instead, it is recommended to adjust the thickness at the bottom of the Edit Fabric style. Here is the real thickness information of the pattern. The thickness information here is reflected in both the rendered thickness and the simulated thickness. Again, you can see two simulation properties underneath. One is the shrinkage ratio weft and the other shrinkage ratio warp. It will not change the size of our 2D patterns, but it will change the grid stretching effect of our 3D patterns, which means that our patterns will be scaled along the weft and warp direction. For example, if we adjust the shrinkage ratio weft value to 150, the patterns will not change in the 2D window, but in the 3D window, the weft direction will be enlarged by 1.5 times. The same principle applies to our warp direction. At the bottom is a pressure. When our pressure is positive, the pattern will expand outward. If we set the pressure to a negative value, the pattern will shrink inward. This is also a function that we use when we make some garments with thickness such as down or cotton clothes. And then see the fabric below. The first column is our Edit Fabric Style. You can see at the top is a material property. Here you can edit the textures of our fabric. The second is the physical properties. Physical properties can reflect the physical performance of the fabric in 3D. There is a special course to explain its specific operation methods. Returning to our previous layer, we can also see information about the fabric, including bond and the skive. Bond is to overlay a bond on the surface of the fabric, so that the fabric becomes less deformable and more rigid. The second item is the fabric skive. Skive is an edit that weakens the physical properties of the current fabric. And then here is solidify. It is also possible to control the strength of it. The edge property below is also the same as the information for editing the edges of the fabric. The physical properties of the other contents also hope that you will try to see for yourself, especially asset we have here. Like button, or buttonholes, or top stitch, and some of the properties of puckering and other property editor. That's it for the property editor. In the next lesson, we will demonstrate the operation of the 2D window. That's it guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.